with a chance to do some damage. And a drive to right field, hit to the gap, way back, and gone. A 3-run home run. Jorge Polanco now has 98.
We're a good team. We're a good offense. We're a good team. We have good special teams. We're going to be a good football team. We just have to do a better job of putting it out there on Sunday and getting a better result. But we are a good team. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah! Woohoo! We are back. Yes, thank you, audience. I appreciate it. We appreciate it. My name is Fuzzy. We have our host, C-Dubs. We have our
C-Dubs.
Other host, Robert. And we are FuzzJockRadio. And I don't know why I said hosts, because we're all Hests. Do I need to remind the audience what Hest means? I think I do.
I think you do.
So a Hest is not a host and it's not a guest. And you're like, well, what does that mean? And I'm like, well, that means that we're Hests. Here on FuzzJockRadio, we do not deal with hierarchies like other talk shows do. Other talk shows have hosts and guests, and which means that one or the other, depending on who the guest is, like celebrity status and whatnot, has one or the other is better than the other. And here, we don't want anybody to think that they're better than the other person. So there's just no hierarchies. We're all Hests. And Robert is our Hest for tonight. And C-Dubs is our Hest for tonight. And I'm your Hest for tonight. And you're probably wondering where one of the Hests, James, has been. And he's been on vacation. And so with that makes it so easy for us to intertwine and inter-exchange. Is that the right word? Inter-exchange?
Ooh.
Our guests, our hosts.
Hess.
See, since we call us Hess, we can be like, well, we're not replacing a guest, or we're not replacing a host, we're not replacing anybody. We're all Hess. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I think that makes sense, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right?
Why is Robert here?
Yeah.
Live with Robert.
We're all just Hess friends.
We're all Hess friends.
Hess friends.
I like that. And we brought Robert on tonight on purpose to talk, because the Timberwolves are back in action with their preseason tonight, as of tonight. So that's why we're bringing them in to the studio. And then, like I said, James has been on vacation, and he's just having a great time putting that sand in between his toes and the sun on his back, and I hope he's wearing sunscreen. That's the bottom line, because we do not want skin cancer. PSA: if you're out in the sun, put on some sunscreen.
Mm-hmm.
It's a perfect time to tell people that, because it's fall and it's when really people like to go to the beach.
Yeah. See, where's he at? Denver?
Yeah, Denver. I think it's Denver, right, Charles?
I thought it was Mars, but
Oh. Well, at least it's not the moon, because the moon's so played out nowadays.
No.
Okay, so we probably should get going on this, because we have a lot to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things have happened in the sports world. But first, how have you been since the last time we've seen you?
It's
Robert.
been okay, I guess.
Yeah? Yeah?
We would have last seen you like when we first started the show.
Yeah. It's been a long time since I've been here.
Yeah.
It was in the old studio, I suppose.
Yeah,
huh?
it wasn't even here.
Wow.
So long it was a different place.
Wow, sorry it took so long to get you back.
Yeah, the Timberwolves have been playing for a while, so
I suppose. So we skipped a whole season with you, I think.
maybe.
Well, I wonder why that would have been. Maybe a pandemic is happening still.
Oh, wait a minute. That's right. We haven't had you on since the pandemic.
Yeah. That means that
Holy
that's
shit.
been even longer than I thought.
So, obviously you
How
didn't
you
catch
been?
it. How have you
How's
been?
the pandemic treating you?
Okay.
Yeah. You I've talked to you since, and I'm just really happy that you have been on board with the whole masking up and getting vaccinated as soon as you can, and staying inside and not doing things that aren't like really fully needed at that moment. It's just nice to find another friend that's like us. So we're not just sitting around saying, I don't like, we've been saying, like, are we the crazy ones?
Yeah.
And it's just
At what point does that begin?
yeah, right. And it's
I
just
already
nice.
had COVID in like 2016, so
Yeah, so but this isn't a COVID podcast.
no, it's been pretty good. I've changed my Twitter handle from Bob Chillswell to Bob Chills OK.
Yeah. And that's that's basically all you can really do.
Yeah, because just trying to get by. We're all okay, I guess.
Yep. It's I think it's just brought a lot of perspective to a lot of us of what's important, and and just kind of slow down a little bit and figure out what we actually need to do.
Yeah.
With that, I hear that you're starting to work on some new projects.
Yeah, I've got new stuff that I'm working on with Nate specifically. Is where you heard that, I suppose. He wasn't supposed to tell anybody about this.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, shoot. With Nate Rock, with Nate Rock Cahill, the one of the shows on FuzzJockRadio, Wednesday nights from Mankato to Motown. It sounds like breaking news. Oh, shoot.
Breaking an NDA.
Oh.
No,
Breaking news. Bob Chillswell and Nate Rock Cahill are working on new projects together. We're not going to tell you what the new projects are. How about that?
Oh, we can.
Okay.
We got a couple new songs. There's not really names for them yet. There maybe is a name, but I don't remember it. But me and Nate wrote it a little while back, and so I'm starting to get things organized to record for the next album. And I hit him up and was like, yo, remember when we wrote those verses a while back?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, yeah. And so he came over and practiced them, getting them down. Probably might perform them first before recording them. That was kind of the goal. So maybe do that. I don't know.
Yeah. Whatever works, right?
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
It'll be okay.
C-Dubs, how have you been since the last time I talked to you? Well, no,
Good.
since the last
I have
show.
not been making music with Nate.
No?
No, I haven't been.
Why
sadly.
not? He hasn't told
He
you
doesn't
yet?
return my calls.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's...
I stand in my backyard and I holler as loud as I can, and I don't ever hear anything back from him. I just don't get it.
Well, you need to put up the sign, the muskrat sign, isn't it? Isn't that what it is? Oh, shoot.
Oh.
I shouldn't be talking about that either, because now I'm giving away a secret.
NDA breaking.
I don't get a hold of Nata's muskrat signs in the air. Shit. Oh, man. This is not giving Nate's secrets away podcast. But make sure to tune in to Fuzz Talk Radio on Wednesday nights for Mankato to Motown at 7 p.m. If you're not watching AEW, you should listen to Nate, because he has a really sexy voice, and he... plays a lot of really awesome songs from the Motown area. Okay, so with that, I'll answer your guys' question that you have on the tip of your brain, but you haven't asked me. Is how have I been? And I've been great. I've been doing things and stuff and hanging out and working on projects as well.
Nice.
I'm not going to tell you because this is a secret.
Is it a finger painting?
God damn it, Charles. We're just...
Are you ready for some football?
Giving away my secrets. Okay, so the Monday Night Football game just got done. Las Vegas Raiders versus the LA Chargers. Two brand new teams to the NFL. Right?
Two new locations.
Kinda. You could say that.
New ownerships? Is that why where?
No,
San Diego
They
Chargers,
just
right?
all moved to the same area together.
just moved.
Because Vegas isn't too far from
Oakland?
LA, is it?
Mm-mm.
No.
It's like 3 hours, right?
Yeah, you can get there in like not very long.
That's like going to Duluth in Minnesota.
Yeah. Well, no, it's shorter than that.
Okay, so since it's so close, I suppose it is. Since it's so close, what did the stands look like? They look like a lot of Raiders fans in those stands.
Oh yeah, they took over the talk of radio on both stations here, the main stations, were talking about how like ticket sales reports from the secondary market were all coming from either outside of the LA area or heavy Raider territory in the LA area. So they knew before the game even started that it was going to be like 80% Raiders fans.
And speaking of the game starting, it was delayed a little bit, and that's why we're a little late going on air tonight. If you're tuned in through the downloads, we're probably not late. We're probably a little early for you. However, depending on like what time you listen to the download, if you listen to it at like 1 a.m., it's probably pretty early. Unless if you're up until 1 a.m. normally, then it's probably kind of like late for you to listen to it. Or it might be like the perfect time. I don't know what the perfect time is for you, so you'll probably have to just like figure that out yourself. Because I don't like to like tell people what the perfect time for their stuff is. Does that make sense? But the perfect time was not the perfect time for us for the Monday Night Football game to be delayed. So just to remind everybody, if you're tuning in live, it starts at 10:30 or right after the Monday Night Football game, whichever one happens
first.
Second. And there was a delay because there was a lightning delay. LA got some rain today, which is not normal for them, and it was like
that's very strange.
It was
lightning storms,
rain, 72 degrees today. But tomorrow it looks like it will be partly cloudy, 77 as a high, 60 as the low. Wednesday will be 72 and partly cloudy again, with 61 being the low. Then Thursday, it looks like it will be fully cloudy, 69 as the high, nice, and 57 as the low. What am I doing?
Yeah.
Is
this time and temp?
Not a weather podcast. Not time and temp podcast. I'm sorry, Robert. Sometimes we get a little off track here.
Carried away.
Okay, let's just get back on track. Raiders took over the SoFi Stadium. Chargers used silent out on their own home stadium. A silent out. Explain to the audience, Charles, what a silent out is.
Well, silent count is when they are going to snap the ball and they don't actually say anything because it's like based off of timing or a look that the quarterback will give, because there's so much crowd noise they can't communicate verbally, and so that's usually a silent count. They did this at their home stadium
because the Raiders fans were so loud.
Right.
I see.
So that's out of the ordinary. Usually you don't have to do that at your home games. Normally that's reserved for your big rivalries, and this was one of those, but at their home stadium. So it was very strange.
And then tonight's game was a blowout. What was it? 24 to... Do you remember what the score was?
It's like 28-14.
We don't really remember. Do you remember, Robert?
Yeah, it was 28-14.
28-14. We'll have fact checkers check that later. So that makes it the Vegas. They won, right? Vegas?
No,
the Chargers.
Chargers did.
Oh, so the Chargers are now 3-1, and the Vegas are 3-1. Denver's 3-1, so that division's all locked up.
Yeah.
Tennessee's 2-2. Cincinnati's 3-1. Buffalo is 3-1. And then where are our Vikings at? Oh, 1-3.
We're on the other side.
At least we're not Detroit.
No, we're never Detroit.
1-3 start with the Vikings. What do you think about that, Robert?
They've only lost the games by very few points. And most of the games they lost were pretty close. But the last game, it just kind of felt like they played like shit.
Yeah.
They started off great, ran right down the field, touchdown, first drive. Looked like it was going to be a blowout. Maybe, put more than one touchdown on the board, but
didn't look like Kurt really had the best game. His quarterback rating went from 128 from the last week to all the way down to 66. I don't know what quarterback ratings are. Do you guys?
Bad though.
Yeah, no, that's a big drop. Yeah, in this game he had 20 completions with 38 attempts for 203 yards. I mean, that's not going to do it. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He had his first interception today.
He's not Tom Brady.
No, he's not Tom Brady.
No.
Who we were just talking about is the GOAT.
Right.
Like he's literally a goat.
Yep.
Do you think so okay. I forgot to line this up. Gosh darn it. You know what's coming. Where is it?
I know what this awkward pause means.
FuzzJockRadio.
No.
FuzzJockRadio.
Stop that. We all know what that sound means, or what this jingle is. It's time for the
Buzz Question of the Week.
Okay, this is when I ask a question, and
He always forgets to stop
I
it.
gotta stop it.
Buzz
This is the
Question of the Week. Buzz.
okay, so it's the fuzz question of the week, and this is where I ask a question to the other Hests, and then they answer it and there's like no points involved or anything like that. You just answer the question, and you explain why that's your answer, and then we don't conversate about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes to the next person, okay? So the question of the week this week is, with Tom Brady being the GOAT and not being part of the Patriots anymore, who do we hate more, the Patriots or Tom Brady?
Is that me?
Robert.
Okay. Well, I still don't like the Patriots. I don't like Tom Brady, but I do like Tom Brady. He's the greatest quarterback of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have to say the Patriots because I don't really care about them. And Tom Brady is great. You know, he's
Mm-hmm.
the best quarterback in history.
He's like the Michael Jordan of
Yeah.
football. C-dubs.
I'm the opposite. I'm starting to hate the Patriots less, even though my dad's a Jets fan. I need to hate them a lot because I really dislike the Buccaneers
Because of Tom.
because of Tom Brady.
Okay.
Because they're just picking up all these great players who are like, yeah, I'll take a pay cut to be with Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And it's like, God damn it.
Yeah.
It sucks for everyone else.
Yeah, it does. Especially, so okay.
Nope, no discussing.
No discussing. For me, I think it's still the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Because of Bill Belichick and the organization that is part of the Patriots. He's conniver and somebody that skirts past rules and breaks the essence of what football could be, and they have to.
He breaks kayfabe.
He breaks kayfabe. Yeah, so I was, and with Tom Brady being the GOAT and being like the best football player and showing that by just moving to a different team and just bringing all these players around him, it's not his fault.
No.
It's just talent.
No.
It is. He's really
just
fucking
the
good.
best.
I guess.
And you can't hate on talent. Really, right? So that's
Buzz Question of the Week.
I got it that time. That was a good.
Did
That
it.
was a good one. So yeah, that was the fuzz question of the week. And with that,
Okay.
we also know that Kirk is not the GOAT either.
He's not Tom Brady.
So we have a story here, right? Is that what's going on? So like not my question of the week, but another question that we have proposed is: are records more important than players' health? And explain where that question comes from a little bit more.
Well, so
C-dubs.
this week there was a very strange situation in which it was the final play of the game for victory formation, and the quarterback was going to win. It was a blowout. It was like 27 to
Who are the
7.
teams? Who are the teams?
The teams are the Ravens and the Broncos.
Okay.
And so the final play is about to happen, and it's clear that the game's over. All they need to do is snap the ball one more time and take a knee like they normally would. Well, the coach knew that they were on the precipice of breaking or tying a record for most 100-yard rushing games consecutively.
Okay.
And so he decided to run the ball and had his quarterback run the ball for one meaningless play to get 5 yards to continue that record.
Instead of just doing a victory formation.
Instead of doing the safe, kneel the ball down and take the victory.
Okay.
And so now luckily he did not get hurt or anything, but it's pretty shitty to do that. And the coach kept saying it's a really big deal that they get this record. And then all the players kept being like, yeah, I didn't know anything about it. I don't know why we did this. I don't understand what we did this for.
So nobody got hurt, but
no,
especially in contact sport like football, there's a huge chance for them to get hurt, somebody to get hurt on a play just to get a record. And that record was, he said, 43 consecutive 100-yard rushing games.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a quote by Fangio. Who's Fangio?
He's the opposing team's coach. So he's the Broncos head coach.
Okay, he said that who was the losing team, right? He just said,
mm-hmm.
I thought it was kind of bullshit. I expected it from them. 37 years of pro football, I've never seen anything like that. But if it was to be expected, and we expected it. Asked why the Broncos expected it, he said the Broncos head coach said, because I just know how they operate. That's just their mode of operation here. Player safety is secondary. The Ravens were winning. That's kind of also like a team to be 43 and up 43 to 10, and on third down for that winning team to just punt it on third down. Right? They just
yes.
Before the audience, you have to look this up. That's something else that's a play that could have gotten somebody really hurt.
Yeah.
Right?
Him punting a ball.
So Tom Brady on third down, winning 43 to 10 against what team was it? The Chargers.
I think it was the Ravens. Or no, it was the Broncos. It's the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Broncos.
You'll have to look this up, audience. On third down, Tom Brady punts it, and it's a great punt. And then after the punt, a brawl breaks out. And people could have gotten hurt on that. And it's just, what do you think of that? What do you think, Robert?
Well, I think you got to play to win. So if you are playing strategically to win, that's good. But if you're playing for stats at any point, whether or not the player gets hurt, they signed up for football. They have a chance of getting hurt. That's football.
Mm-hmm. And as a player, you have to listen to your coach.
Right. So if strategically they were like, well, let's have the quarterback run it for 5 yards just to, get more time off the clock or whatever the case may be to kind of run it down a little bit or get another first down without him expecting. I don't know the specific situation, but anytime that you're thinking about a record and you're doing something in the game differently to try to get that record, then I think you're going the wrong direction.
Yeah, it's pretty disingenuous almost. And then
it's not even a real record then.
Yeah, right.
True, very true. Because you're making sure that you can get it, and it's well, records should be something that are just
happen.
That happen because
passive.
They because they've been hitting 3,000 hits or whatever consecutively or something like that. I'm trying to get into a good baseball transition here.
Is fun again in Minnesota.
So speaking of baseball, 3,000 hits by Paul Molitor was a big record, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's not like they tried to do that on purpose. It just happened.
No. 3,000 strikeouts by Scherzer recently was not on. He just did it. It just happened.
Yep. So speaking of baseball, Twins are done for the year. They won their last 2 games, 7-3 on Sunday and 4-0 on Saturday. And Charles had the question: can we replace the Vikings with the Twins? Well,
Is it too late?
do we want to? Because the Twins' record this year ended up.
But no, I
being
mean this Twins team,
73
not the team that we started the season with. That team's different. That's a different Twins team.
73
We don't even have those pitchers on our team anymore.
73 wins and 89 losses, dude. Like, I mean, we have more wins than Washington, I guess. 65. Texas.
They just won the
We're
World
not
Series a few years ago.
We're not the lowest team. So what you're saying is the team that we had earlier in the year compared
That's a
to
different
this team is totally different?
Absolutely.
How so?
It's well, considering who our starting lineup was for pitchers, just pitchers alone at the beginning of this season was J.A. Happ, Jose Barrios, Kenta Maeda. Who else was there as our other starters?
You know, this would be a question I would ask our what do you call it, our person that would look up stats for us. What? Statistician, yeah. I would ask them, how many games have the Twins won in the last 50 games compared to the first 50 games? Would that be a good stat to find?
Yeah.
We should find that for next week. We'll look that up. Taylor Rogers was named the Twins 2021 Carl Pohlad Award for Outstanding Community Service. This is an award that was established in 1993. The Carl R. Pohlad Award is named after the late Twins owner, who always felt the need to return something to his community. Past winners were Brian Harper, Kent Herbeck, Kirby Puckett, Paul Molitor, Brad Radke, and the likes. Brian Buxton was last year. Nelson Cruz, Jose Barrios. Yeah, you know, it's cool to give awards to people that give back to their community, right? And it's cool that the Twins want to do that. What's the last thing that you've done to give back to your community there, Robert?
Saved a deer recently.
Dude.
It was stuck in a fence.
Do you ever see those on his Instagrams or his Twitters and stuff like that?
Of course I do.
So, audience, you need to find Bob Chilswell. It's still Bob Chilswell, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just joking before.
Okay.
I think it's great.
Look up Bob Chilswell on Twitter. He is he will come across a trapped, like one time there was like a skunk or a porcupine and a skunk and like trapped in a bottle, like its head was trapped in his bottle, and he
in a yolk plate container. Make
sure not to.
Yeah, don't be throwing your Yo Play containers around outside.
Another PSA from FuzzJockRadio: please don't litter, because Robert, like, he loves being able to save these little animals. Like, he'll even save a poisonous beaver. I don't know if he, like, poisonous beavers are fucking scary. Robert will save it but he'd rather not. So don't litter, please.
Yeah.
With that, the postseason and the postseason in baseball. So look up Bob Chilswell on Twitter, and you'll see his adventures of saving animals.
Yeah, you know that deer? It was stuck in the fence. Didn't realize it was there. Just kind of was riding my bike and decided to get off to start walking it up the hill. And it was just sitting there. You know, try not to make any sound. I don't know how many people have come by and already walked by it and didn't do anything or didn't see it because it was trying to be quiet because it was trapped. And as it was sitting there, I was trying to get its leg out. I couldn't do it. And it started freaking out, like moving around. And I could tell it was in pain because I was trying to bend the fence over to get it out. Mm-hmm. And it was like freaking out. So I was like trying to calm it down, talk to it. And I reached down to touch it and I pet its head and it started like watering all around the eyes. I don't know if deers can cry,
man.
But I got so emotional. I was just like, oh my God, what the fuck? I felt, you know, because it just like stopped moving and was like,
it just started crying.
Yeah, basically, because he probably could tell, or she could tell, that I was trying to hurt it, not hurt, or trying to
try to
help
help
it,
it, not
not
hurt
hurt
it,
it. Yeah. And so it was just like,
How did that make you feel?
yeah, I felt weird,
Yeah.
super weird. I didn't know deers could cry.
Oh man.
I had no idea.
Did you start crying?
No, I did feel emotional.
Yeah.
I didn't start crying though, but I was just like, whoa, that was like fucking
That's
deep.
like
Out of nowhere. I've never touched a deer
oh,
before.
Man. That's
And I decided to do it because it was freaking out to try to calm it down. And if you touched it on the head, and it probably was like thinking, you know, something's trying to, because I was walking that trail a couple weeks before that,
yeah.
and I seen 3 deer on the side, and they ran off, and it was a mom and 2 babies. So that was one of them, one of the babies, and I'm sure the mom and the other one just had to leave it there.
Yeah, totally.
It could have been there for days.
Oh man, that's just like a reminder of how we all come from stardust.
Yeah.
Like that's just like one of those like full connections that you had, you know, like with something that's not human, but like you guys both understand each other. You know what I mean?
It was really, really weird.
Yeah, I bet. I bet it was.
Really weird.
You know what's really weird is the post season picture for the World Series.
Great segue. Love it.
On Tuesday, October 5th, which is tomorrow, depending on when you're listening to the podcast, is actually probably today. Or
Today,
it could have been
probably
like a couple days.
Or was it
a couple days yesterday? A couple days
Maybe this
yesterday.
is in the past, even more than we think it is.
Yeah, you know, time travel exists in podcast worlds. Tuesday, October 5th, Yankees versus the Red Sox. Wednesday, October 6th, Cardinals versus the Dodgers. Go Dodgers.
I'll be at work that day.
Thursday, October 7th is Boston or New York versus Tampa Bay, and then the White Sox versus the Astros. Friday, October 8th is the Braves versus the Brewers. So I am rooting for the LA and then Tampa Bay with Nelson Cruz. What do you guys? What are you guys' thoughts on that? What do you think of my decision of picking those two?
I'm rooting for LA and Tampa Bay with Nelson Cruz.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad
I'm gonna pick up on Robert's picks.
Okay.
And I'm gonna also root for LA and Tampa Bay.
Oh man, we're all thinking the same way. That's really cool. It's like we're friends or something.
I want last year's World Series again, but this time with here, and I can make money.
And you can get another ring.
I'll get another ring.
In the New York,
they gave me another one.
And you'd also be able to see Nelson Cruz in action. Our boy Nelson Cruz in action.
Yeah, our boy Cruz.
So C-Dubs is picking something up. I'm going to keep on reading.
Keep reading.
Umpire Joe West is to retire after the postseason. Oh shit! Where's the? I need to get these lined up here better. Yep. Joe West is retiring, which means that the robot umps are. Ooh, wow! Look at that. So what's happening right now is C-Dubs is showing his real. No, it's a replica, right? Or is it real?
It's a replica.
A replica version of the Dodgers World Series ring in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool. It's big. It's big. Umpire Joel West has officially informed Major League Baseball he will retire after the postseason. West, at 68 years old, broke the record for the most games umpired, held by Bill Clem when he was behind the plate for number 5,376 games. Breaking the record was the goal. West told ESPN on Monday, "I thought I would do it last year, but the season got a little messed up because of COVID." He didn't say because of COVID, but he's just saying a little messed up. And I don't think it was right to work until the point of the record, then just quit. Oh, so he's doing the right thing at least.
Mm-hmm.
With that, okay, do you think that he should just be umpiring until he dies then? Maybe? Because if he's going to break the record, he got to fucking break the record.
He should just have the record for the rest of his life.
Like Cal Ripken Jr., Remember when he was breaking the record of consecutive games played? and he just
There's a difference between those things, though, because that guy, Cal Ripken, was good at baseball. Joe West is bad at umpiring.
that is very true. That is very true. Joe West
So we
is
need him gone. This is bad. This is not honorable that he has this many games under his. Is that many more bad games umpired by an official?
That was going to
You know what I
be
mean?
that was going to be another question I was going to ask is like how many bad calls in those 5,376 games did Joe West make? Is that a stat that we can find? I bet we could.
Wait, that means he definitely did more than what? Because this is in May. He would have at least umpired 100 more games.
Yeah.
So he would be over. Wow, that's so many games.
So he's retiring. Is he the oldest? Another thing that we could ask the robot that's our petition is he the oldest umpire to retire? He should have done that too. Joe West is really disappointing. Joe West is the reason why we want to have robot umps as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're not about taking other people's jobs away from them, but Joe West.
Just that one aspect of their job we want to take away, because umpires will still be needed, just not for balls and strikes.
Kind of like employees at McDonald's when they go all robots. Employees are still needed,
Yeah.
right?
Joe West would be the employee at McDonald's that forgets the sweet and sour sauce.
There you
Yes,
go. Yes.
that's a perfect example.
FuzzJockRadio.
Basketball, gimme the ball because I'm gonna dunk it! Basketball, gimme the ball because I'm gonna dunk it! Basketball, gimme the ball because I'm gonna dunk it!
FuzzJockRadio.
Yeah, we've upgraded a bit since you've been here, Robert. We got
Nice, yeah.
sounders and stuff.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun. Sylvia. Oh, geez, Sylvia Fowles
There we go.
is the 2021 Defensive Player of the Year by the Associated Press earlier this week. The Lynx Sylvia Fowles has earned the same honor from the WNBA. The league made the announcement Sunday morning, also noting that Fowles was named to the All-WNBA Defensive First Team. It's the fourth time Fowles has won Defensive Player of the Year. The 35-year-old center averaged 10.1 rebounds, 1.8 steals, and 1.8 blocks per game this year. All good for second in the NBA. She's the only player in the league history to finish the top two in all three stats. Fucking great player. And unfortunately, there's starting to become rumors that she might be leaving. However, we're Fuzzjock Radio, and we don't discuss rumors because we think that rumors are fodder for, just speculation and,
Well,
clickbait.
if we were going to talk rumors,
Okay.
we would talk Rumors, the album.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we would talk.
What do you
if we're
think
gonna
of
talk
Rumors, the album, by the way?
Fleetwood Mac is great.
What's that?
Fleetwood Mac?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're great.
They're great.
Love it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we don't, other than Fleetwood Mac, and I wish we could play that song right now,
Yeah.
but we're a podcast and you can't do that. And so yeah, so the Lynx are done. They got kicked out of the championship or the championships, the playoffs. Currently the playoffs are going. The championship games start after this round, which is going on. But our team's not playing, so I haven't been really paying that much attention anymore. Also the NBA is now starting up. That's why we got Robert here. What are you thinking of we won tonight against the Pelicans. What are you thinking of this team?
Well, it's the first game of the preseason, and it's a little early, but it looks like they're going to win the championship.
Oh, I mean,
Good.
We got new ownership.
Mm-hmm.
We got rid of some coaches.
Not coaches. We got rid of the front office, Garrison Rojas. He's gone. He was literally fucking in the Target Center.
What?
You didn't know that?
Is that why they got rid of him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
He
No.
was no, well, technically that's not why, but it is the reason because he created a hostile work environment for the dude that took over. I can't remember his name off the top of my head now. I'll look it up. But anyways, he took over for him because he caught Garrison doing it with one of the
Really?
another coworker.
So Rojas was brought in from Coach Finch. Is that right?
No, he brought in Coach Finch.
He brought in Coach Finch.
He was
Okay.
Yep.
Okay,
was,
so he
head
like
of basketball operations.
how long has Rojas been with us?
He came with not that
Not-
long.
not that long,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, he's only been with Timberwolves for maybe a few years. here,
And
so-
wasn't he like a kind of controversial hire, or was it Finch that was the controversial hire because they were friends?
No, Finch was the controversial hire just because at the time there was, different people were calling for other people to get the job.
And also, more like Finch didn't go through like a process, and he's just
Yeah,
a
well-
white male coach, and
Yep, that was part of it too, but it was kind of weird because Saunders didn't know it was a surprise.
That's right.
And they had him filling in for Saunders like within a day.
yeah, and then him and Rojas were like buddies.
Yeah,
from
yeah,
other
they were, but I mean,
organizations.
he deserves the position because he's a good head coach. And
Okay.
everybody respects him on the team.
And he has-
There's no pushback for him specifically. The situation was what people were mad about.
Yep, and to clear the air too, Finch has nothing to do with what happened with Rojas.
Nope.
But he was having relations with somebody
Mm-hmm.
in the front office.
Mm-hmm. And
Wow.
he got caught by Sachin Gupta,
Okay,
who is now taken over his job.
well, great.
He's the first person of Indian descent to be in the front office in the NBA.
Oh, awesome.
Yep. So he was basically, he caught this happening. He caught them, walked in on him.
Mm-hmm.
And so Rojas was trying to
Get
kind
rid
of block him out,
Yeah.
not allow him to do. He wanted to move to another team. He wasn't letting him do it. Wasn't putting in a good word for him for other teams that he was trying to move to.
Okay.
And so he created a hostile work environment
Mm-hmm.
for him and kind of put him in a shitty spot because of what was going on. The lady that Rojas was cheating with was married too. So I don't know what ended up happening with that. I think she quit.
Wow.
But we don't talk about rumors here on
No,
Fuzz
no,
Talk
no,
Radio.
no rumors. But what a
Yeah, it's really messed up. And the more you look into it, you're like, holy shit, this is really they be doing it
Sorted.
at the Target Center.
wow, wow.
Who does he think he is, Drake?
But overall, the moves that Rojas made were good. He's just a bad person,
Yeah.
you know.
Yep.
So
Ethics.
Timberwolves, right, are in a good spot as far as the team goes. We've got a lot of young dudes on the team. There's nobody that's I would consider old in the NBA. Towns is like getting to be the oldest dude on the
Yeah.
team, and Towns is still young, even though he's got a lot under his belt. He's still considered a young guy.
Is that going to be an issue with the young team not having like a?
I think the issue with having a young team was that we had a young coach. And there's nothing wrong with Ryan Saunders. He was a great guy.
Yeah.
If he would have moved to another organization and been the coach there and not had the personal relationships with the players because he came up in the organization,
Yes.
then I think people would have probably treated him a little bit differently, or he would have had a different level of respect, kind of like what Finch has now, because he seems like a coach. He just looks
Oh.
like an older dude that's like...
And then you also, with them all being younger and Carl being like the oldest one, there's going to be a lot more respect towards the coach than, if there was like the Latrell Sprewell on the
Yeah.
team.
Yep,
you know,
yep,
or,
yep.
or, like in
there's just really no pushback against him. He
Yep.
seems like he's a legit dude. Everything that he says, he's got the right answers. He seems like he's a good fit
That's
for the
cool.
position.
That's cool.
And Anthony Edwards grew a few inches over the offseason.
Did he?
Yeah, not only is he probably going to be the best player in the NBA very soon.
Not joking at
He's
all.
going to be a little bit tall. He's saying he wants to get to the same height as Jordan. Jordan, 6'6". So Edwards is like 6'5" now, I think.
Okay.
And he came in at 6'2".
Well, does he have control over this height?
No, he's only 19. He's super young.
That's the thing. You still grow. You can still be growing, especially if you're working out, right? Like at that age, you can still be.
People will get a growth spurt in college or like 19, 20, in that age, but that's probably the last one. So what he is now is probably as tall as he'll be, but he'll get bigger. He'll get more built. He'll fill out.
And then with Anthony, he's jokester. I want to be as. I'm going to make sure I get as tall as Jordan.
Yeah. Any interview with him, anything that he says is always hilarious. So I think with him, he's the face of the Timberwolves now. Towns has been and is still pretty much the top player on the team, but Anthony Edwards is not far behind that, and he is going to be something great.
The transition is there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The passing of the torch, and it'll be nice to see them playing together yet. But as far as Edwards goes, I mean, even tonight he had just a ridiculous block, swatted it under the seats. He had a nice dunk too, so he's just going to keep getting better. And I don't know. I think the Timberwolves this year have a real chance to be something good.
That's really exciting.
We got Patrick Beverley. Remember when he pushed Chris Paul at the end of the playoffs last year after they lost?
Are we going to get Simmons? They've been talking about getting
a lot of
Simmons.
people have been talking about it. I personally don't want him on the team. I think we're fine where we're at, and I don't think he's that great of a player. As great as what we're trying to give up for him, I would rather stick with what we have now.
Yeah, I get that. I totally get that.
Yeah.
Speaking of players, Wiggins, we have a Wiggins update.
Don't you have music for that?
Yeah, we do. So last week we talked about how Wiggins was not getting vaccinated, and then he wouldn't be able to play any of his home games due to California state laws with the vaccinations and being able to work and whatnot. And he's like, "Well, fuck everybody! I'm not getting vaccinated," which is not cool. Get your vaccinations, please. Listen to your health providers and your doctors. That's changed. Wiggins got vaccinated
on the final day.
And that was your Wiggins update.
What is slashing?
Slashing is like that,
The Wild's preseason started, and just like the Vikings, they're 0-2, so I'd not like to replace the Vikings and the Wild. It's the Twins and the Vikings. Still,
other than giving up 6 goals in each of those games, which is not very good, they did win tonight against the Avalanche 3-1.
So they're just like the Vikings.
They're exactly like the Vikings, yeah. Maybe the Timberwolves could play for the Wild.
Oh,
the Twins could play for the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then we'll be really excited about these other teams as much as we are about those teams.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that idea. So the next game is going to be versus the Blues on October 6th, and the Blackhawks on October 7th, and the Blackhawks on October 9th. So yeah, NHL season. No, the preseason is in full swing.
Mm-hmm. Like swing class.
Messi se da cuenta y cambia.
Pirlo afinando, ya cobra, pelota por arriba.
We haven't had MLS news in a while. And this this go around, we got some physics happening. The stoppable force meets the movable object on Sunday when the Galaxy play host to the LAFC in most unanticipated renewal of the intercity MLS rivalry known as El Tráfico. A breath-giving game took place. It was a 1-1 draw. The 5th draw in the short history of the derby. What's a derby?
Yeah, it was pretty boring.
That sounds well. My representation through my
I love
vocals was as boring.
No, that was fantastic. That was better than El Tráfico.
What is a derby?
Derby is like a big rivalry game.
Okay, so it was a 1-1.
Yeah, it was a 1-1 draw. 5th time that's happened of the 11 games that they've played.
Oh wow!
They have drawn half of them.
Wow, that's that's pretty something.
Yep. And El Tráfico used to be one of the most anticipated games of the year, but this last one was not anticipated at all.
Well,
and I thought that writing up the stoppable force, movable object, and it was a breath-giving game were very accurate for what that game was.
Breath-giving. Oh, I get it.
Instead of breathtaking.
Instead of breathtaking.
Yeah.
I still need to make an AEW sound, but the AEW sound is happening right now. This is the
ding ding.
Oh. I'm just putting in the brackets and then insert AEW sound here. Is what I'm doing right now with my voice.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bracket, one of those insert not volume, but insert sound. AEW sound here. This is where it goes. Clip. We have a new champion. We have a new TNT champion. Sammy Guevara beat Miro. Yeah. Cleanly. Didn't have to cheat.
No.
Which is a cool thing.
Very well deserved by that young man.
The Elite versus Jurassic Express, Christian Cage and Bryan Danielson in a casino ladder match.
No, that's a separate match. That's a tag match this week. And then there's also a casino ladder match.
Oh, with Pac versus Andrade Elideo versus John Moxley, Lance Archer, Orange Cassidy, Matt Hardy, and the Joker. Who's the Joker?
The Joker has not been announced yet, but we will find out come Wednesday.
Oh, is this what's it called? Double or Nothing?
No, this is just a regular old casino ladder match to find out who Kenny's next opponent will be.
This Wednesday, Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
Do you watch AEW, Robert, at all?
I don't.
Do you watch pro wrestling at all? I mean,
did you ever?
Did you ever?
I'm more into the amateur.
Yeah?
No,
not really. Well, this Wednesday on TNT, you should check out AEW at 7 p.m., which is the same time that we have the Mankato to Motown, so tune into that as well.
Keep both on.
Just watch I'm assuming that the video would line really well with the audio, and we could listen to Mankato to Motown, and it would look like the wrestlers are singing those songs.
You're absolutely right.
That's what we do. We do that every Wednesday.
We do that. Sheeta goes for win number 50 versus Serena Deeb, and she's gonna win, but that's a good competitor for her to go against, because they're definitely gonna make sure that it looks like it was close.
Yeah. I mean, she just recently stopped being the NWA Women's Champion, so she has a good prestige to her.
Yep, exactly. And we have a flashback that I did not. I was going to add a bunch of flashbacks to this episode, but I totally forgot what the flashbacks were supposed to be, so I just put that in there. Why was Full Gear moved to Minneapolis from St. Louis? That was a question that we asked last week, and we were looking it up. And did we figure it out?
Yeah, so I figured out it turns out they changed the date because they didn't want them to coincide with a giant box or I think MMA fight that's going on the same night.
Okay.
So
That
they
makes
moved the
sense.
date, and when they did that, they could no longer have it at the St. Louis arena.
So that's good for Minnesota.
Mhm.
And that makes sense because I know that Tony Khan and doesn't want to compete with the UFC stuff at all. Like he has friends that are in it, and he's like, no, we're not going to compete. We're going to make sure that and it's like a mutual benefit type of thing, which is really cool. So like totally two different promotions, or not even promotions, but two different styles of combat sports working together, and that's really neat. Kenny Omega, what's this graphic
So
here?
these are the current AEW
Current
champions.
AEW champions are Kenny Omega, the AEW World Champion. Britt Baker is the AEW Women's Champion. Sam Guevara is the AEW TNT Champion. The Lucha Brothers are the AEW Tag Team Champions. And then Brody Lee Jr. helps the Dark Order at the indie event.
This was so sweet.
Okay, go ahead.
Yep. So Brody Lee, who we all know, or those of us who follow wrestling know, passed away. Robert, this wrestler Brody Lee, who we all really loved, passed away unexpectedly last year.
Okay, Robert. So this promotion is not like WWE. It's called AEW, and they formed the wrestlers that got it together were wrestlers that either were not accepted in the WWE or were part of WWE but were used very, very poorly and were kind of like kicked to the side and stuff like that. So they kind of all got together, and then there's also a bunch of wrestlers that never wanted to be part of the WWE, and so they wrestled for a bunch of smaller promotions because they didn't like Vince McMahon and how he's racist and how he's like doing all this stupid shit. So they all got together and formed their own company called AEW. And in AEW, they had this dude named Brody Lee, who was pretty big in WWE as well, and very well respected because in real life, he's just a really nice, kind person. He looked like a really big, scary dude, but like he was like the nicest dude. He had a family, a kid, and was that dad that once, he'd go do his wrestling events and wouldn't really stay. He'd go home because he wanted to be with his son. And he was the leader of this group called the Dark Order, where he would pick wrestlers that kept on losing. And he's like, you're part of me. You're part of my group now. You're part of the Dark Order. You're losing all the time. I'm going to help you become a better wrestler, type of thing. And he was great, and it was scary, and the Dark Order, and joined the Dark Order. And he had some really awesome matches, and he became the TNT champion at one point. And then this last December, out of nowhere, he just died. Wasn't COVID related, but he had a lung issue that he knew about and the other wrestlers knew about for months, but nobody ever said anything because he wanted to keep it a secret. Didn't want anybody to know. He wanted to keep helping these bad wrestlers and keep making a really good product while he can. And he passed away in December. And AEW, as a company, instead of just like pushing back, just being like, whatever, like one of our wrestlers passed away, here's like a tribute and just move on. They did a tribute for him, of course, and then also included his wife and son in the promotions and are giving all of his merchandise sales to the family to take care of them. And they have his son, who's like 11 years old, on TV being the new leader of the Dark Order, and he's called -1, and he comes on and he's wrestling with him, and it's just so great. it's such like it's just a heartwarming, like this company is more than just a company. It's a family that's going to take care of their own, type of thing. And go ahead, Charlie.
So they had so some of the wrestlers, AEW allows the wrestlers to do independent wrestling all they want. They can go to indies and they don't care what promotion they work with, just as long as.
Yep, another difference between WWE and AEW is that WWE is like you have to do just WWE stuff to the point where they can't even do like Twitch streams unless if it's WWE approved.
So stupid. And
even
strange.
though all these wrestlers in real life are actually independent contractors and they're not actually hired or given like real health insurance by the company, they have to find their own stuff. Ridiculous. But AEW, like Charles was saying, will allows their wrestlers to do whatever they want, do Twitch streams, also fight other wrestlers at other organizations, to the point where AEW wrestlers have won other like NWA's world title belts, and so they're like sharing belts across different promotions that are different companies, and it's really cool. They call it the Forbidden Door, and like they opened up the Forbidden Door, and wrestlers can cross the Forbidden Door and fight other promotions. It's really, really neat. And go ahead, Charles.
So Evil Uno and Stu Grayson, two of the main Dark Order people, they were fighting in an indie show recently, and they were having some trouble beating their opponents. And the lights dropped, and the music kicks in. And when the lights turned back on, Brody Lee Jr., his son, who's a child, was in the ring and distracted the guy. And so he kicked him in the head with a chair so that he could actually knock the guy out. And then Stu Grayson and Evil Uno got the win and celebrated with Brody Lee Jr.
Very cool.
At the show.
Very cool.
It was really cute. The crowd loved it. The crowd ate it up when he showed up.
I bet they did, especially since they wouldn't expect -1 to show up at an indie.
No, and low blow the guy and then kick him in the head with a chair. You'd never expect that.
And so then he's also making money. Like they're paying him to do this stuff. So this little 11-year-old is got a career if he wants to be in wrestling and stuff. Nice. And like it's just great how this company just is taking care of their own, and it's so different than what WWE has done to their wrestlers and stuff like that. And like it's great. We are at the end of the show, which means that it's fuzzy memory trivia time. This is where I ask. Oh, I gotta turn that off. I need to figure out something better. I need to upgrade the studio. We might have some upgrades in the middle of the season, Charles. But fuzzy memory trivia is where I ask everyone questions. They answer them for points. And the way you get points is that you answer the question correctly with the correct answer. It's a little bit different than how other trivias are done. I know it's kind of hard to know the rules and stuff, but that's all you got to do is just answer the question with the correct answer, and you'll get points. Currently, the points are C-dubs 0, right?
0.
And just remember, this is episode 4, so C-dubs still has 0 points. Can you believe it? And then the other Hest has 0. So that tells you things. There's multiple questions. We're gonna go round robin. So if you Robert, how many goals did Gary Cahill score for Chelsea in the 2012-2013 season?
I have to say 201.
Incorrect. 6. Oh shoot! I was gonna ask Charles. What?
Fine.
Who became the first man to score a goal in 4 different FA finals?
Ronaldo.
Incorrect. Didier Drogba. Robert, what is the name of the Buccaneers theme song?
Let's get Buck.
Hey, hey, Tampa Bay. C-Dubs, who defeated the Cowboys 16-8 in their opening game for the 2018 NFL season?
The Washington Football Club.
Incorrect. California Panthers. Robert, who won golf's 2018 Guinness Open?
The Guinness Open?
Mm-hmm.
Tiger Woods.
Incorrect. Bubba Watson.
That's what I was.
Yeah, good old Bubba. C-Dubs, quarterback Doug Williams played in which Super Bowl?
Super Bowl 12.
Incorrect. 22. And that's the end of Fuzzy Memory Trivia. That was a
Yeah, we're racking up that score.
fast round robin. I was like that. I like that one. Okay, so yeah, that brings us to the end of the episode. C-Dubs, what you got going on the rest of the week? How's it hanging? What's happening? What do you know?
Postseason time, so I got a lot to do.
For what?
As long as they keep playing and winning in baseball, Dodgers.
Oh yeah.
Go Dodgers.
He works for the Dodgers, so he has to work during postseason. That makes you have to work harder. So
Yes, makes me a very happy worker.
oh, good. Robert, what are you gonna do till the next time we see you?
Well, probably be watching Timberwolves now that the preseason started. So get a little bit of that in. Probably watch the Vikings as much as I could stomach. And not watch the Twins.
Yeah. So
Fuzzy?
oh, good. I'm so happy you asked me. I am going to still do a bunch of fuzzy things and stuff. I'm gonna hang out and be chill and be cool and or try anyway. You know, there's sometimes it's hard to be cool and chill. I'm going to still wear a mask because COVID is still a thing, and still recommend that you probably should wear a mask if you're indoors with a bunch of people, especially if you go to events and stuff like that. Because if there's like over 1,000 people, there's obviously with stats, there's going to be somebody there with COVID. But we're not a COVID podcast. We're a sports podcast that likes to talk about sports and talk about life. And make sure to go to FuzzTalkShop.com and purchase yourself some merchandise. And we're out.
FuzzJockRadio.
Here's Polanco with a chance to do some damage. And a drive to right field. Hit to the gap. Way back. And gone. A 3-run home run. Jorge Polanco now has 98.
We're a good team. We're a good offense. We're a good team. We have good special teams. We're going to be a good football team. We just have to do a better job of putting it out there on Sunday and getting a better result. But we are a good team.